Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe if you are enjoying what you are hearing. Now, on to today's story. Update 4, cheating wife ruined family and Christmas. Why does she expect me to be okay with her behavior? So yesterday was the hearing. I am basically divorced. It will take 4 to 6 months for the paperwork to be official, but at this point there is basically nothing anyone can do to change the outcome. The only option is if me and my wife together stop it. I am so ducking tired, I haven't slept in, I don't know how many days, so if I am a bit all over the place, I'm sorry. I just need to get this all out, I need to vent. Hopefully I can get some sleep after I type it out. My awesome lawyer got me an early hearing, just 12 days after submitting the paperwork. No doubt she called in some favors on this one. I am getting off track. From the weekend up until today has been insane. Friday morning a whole bunch of police officers knocked at my door with a warrant to search the house. I was very confused, I was worried about the kids, so I asked if I could bring the kids outside while they did their search. Thankfully they agreed to that. They didn't really tell me much, but I did get a copy of the warrant. I was so shaken up I couldn't really make any sense of it. I guess everyone that said that my ex-wife's behavior was probably drug-related, it's safe to say that is at least a factor in this. The cops set about completely trashing my house. I called my lawyer and she talked to them, but the warrant was valid, so there wasn't anything that could be done at the time. I didn't think about it when it happened, but I have cameras everywhere now, in case I get wrongfully accused. I have video and sound of everything. I could possibly make a claim later if I want to. To be honest, I don't really know if I have the energy or will for that. Maybe I just put a line over it and move on. I didn't know it then, but X and her 3 harpy friends drove my car while high and drunk, and crashed into a house at high speed. They were all arrested, all of them drunk, and they all had drugs in, and on their body. They were pretty roughed up by the crash. The one in the passenger seat is in critical condition. They don't know if she will even make it. The lead harpy, let's call her Henrietta. She is the one that bragged about screwing over and lying about her ex-husband in court. Let's call her ex-husband Henry. Me and Henry have become really good friends. I will get back to him. Thankfully they didn't find anything from the search. I gave my statement that my ex doesn't live here anymore. She lives with her parents. I don't know what she is doing. No, I didn't give Henrietta permission to drive my car, etc. When I got back in the house I just broke down. Everything was completely trashed. It was just the last straw, I guess. The only thing I could think of was to call my dad, who brought me and the kids home to stay with my mom. Dad then got a whole group together, 26 friends and relatives. While I was sobbing on the back porch, eating my mom's amazing comfort food, feeling sorry for myself, they completely cleaned and fixed my entire house. They did every single room, clothes, dishes, furniture, even washing the ceiling and walls. It's never been this clean. They even fixed all the little things, like loose door handles, etc. I just couldn't believe they would do such a thing for me. I have no idea how I can ever repay them. I went from suicidal to feeling pretty good over the weekend thanks to them. Cops found more drugs at Henrietta's house and her boyfriend wasn't there, no babysitter either, just the kids alone. The kids were taken by CPS and Henry won temporary emergency custody Saturday after showing the judge the chat logs. Combined with the abandonment and piles of drugs, he got custody without much difficulty. Henry is over the moon happy. He has hardly seen his kids the last 5 years. He had been raising money to fight Henrietta in court when this happened. He still needs to go to court to make it permanent, but the odds are really good at this point. Everybody thinks Henrietta will have to serve time. If her friend doesn't make it, will probably be a serious time. After that he will try for child support and compensation for all the crap Henrietta did. He's not expecting much from this though. And to be honest, I think he doesn't want to waste his time fighting in court. He wants to be with his kids and make sure they have a good life. It's pretty clear that Henrietta has been very neglectful towards them. Bob has been a champ and set Henry up in a rental apartment through a friend. I have come to realize that I know practically nothing about Bob's private or professional life. I intend to remedy that. Anyway, I'm off track again. Henrietta was at the wheel when she drove off the road and into a house. They were all pretty banged up, and due to the situation, the alcohol and the drugs, search warrants were issued for everyone's residence. X is still registered with her residence at my house. I decided on Sunday that I am selling this house and moving away ASAP. I am afraid this will probably happen again. On Sunday I got a call from her parents, and their house got searched as well. They had visited their daughter in jail on Saturday and they no longer trust anything she tells them. Long story short, they came over to talk on Sunday and it turns out she has been lying to them about everything. The nights, she has been out partying and cheating. She told them that she was staying with me and we were trying to work things out. They had no idea what was actually going on or what she had done to me and the kids. They knew she cheated but they believed it was a one-time drunken mistake. That's basically what she told them. On Monday my wife calls me to try to get me to post bail. It's $15,000 and her parents have already told her no. After talking to my lawyer she made some papers that the bail is subtracted from the settlement until she showed in court and the bail was released. The agreement included her mother as the custodial of the remaining amount. My lawyer didn't want my wife to have any excuse for not attending the hearing, that's why she wanted me to get her out. X didn't really have a choice and she signed. She was released Monday afternoon. From what her parents tell me, she refused to comply with the terms they had for her to continue living there. Terms like, stop doing drugs, commit to rehab, open everything policy, drop the bad friends etc. She apparently left their house on Tuesdays to stay with some of her new friends. She didn't show for the hearing, and after showing the judge everything including the events over the weekend I won full custody. The settlement is according to the agreement we made. It was quick, only 30 minutes. It will take 4 to 6 months to go through the paper mill. But in reality, it's done. There isn't really anything that can be done to stop this now. That brings us to today. I was unable to sleep. Everybody was congratulating me, and treating me like I had some major victory. But it sure as hell doesn't feel like I won anything. This is just pain. I still love my wife. I know it's over and there is absolutely no way back. Still, she was my best friend, my soulmate up until recently, and even though I feel my love for her has been mortally wounded, it's still there. And it hurts like a mother ducker. There are no winners in this. I lose, my wife loses, my kids lose. I don't really have the words. It feels like I am being asked to celebrate that I have lost both my legs. But because I took action, one of my legs could be cut below the knee while the other still was cut above. When people congratulate me, it feels almost like that, like they are commending me for saving half a kneecap, while losing both my leg. So I can't really sleep, and when I do I am torn through terrible nightmares that wake me up drenched in cold sweat. I am complaining a bit here, sorry. Anyway, today I got a call from the hospital that my ex is hospitalized. I am still her emergency contact and she is still on my health insurance. There has been an altercation, she has lost some teeth, broken jaw, and she will need to stay for observation a few days. I bring her parents, and when I get there it turns out some of her new friends have beaten her up pretty badly. Word got out that Henry had chat logs of Henrietta bragging about what she did to Henry, from my wife's phone. They assumed that my wife had given the logs to Henry. This resulted in them beating her up and kicking her out. Amazingly, she still doesn't understand that I have access to monitor her phone. I will keep on like I do now, pay for insurance, her phone, etc. all the way until I get the papers in my hand. I just won't believe it until I hold it in front of me. She has nothing now. She asked if she could move back home. I simply told her no way in hell. Her mother isn't giving her a single penny unless she gets clean and stays clean for at least 1 year. They offered her to live with them on the previous strict terms. If she doesn't accept, I don't see how she will manage. It's the first time I have seen any form of regret from her since this started, but I think it's a regret that she can no longer continue with her craziness. She did say, "I am sorry I ruined everything," but I don't think it's genuine. She hardly looked me in the eyes while I was there. It hurts seeing her like this. I felt like I wanted to protect her. But she is an adult, her behavior is dangerous and erratic, and I need to protect my kids. Apart from that, she didn't ask about the hearing, she didn't ask about the condition of her critically injured friend, she basically just sat there seeming irritated. I still don't understand this. She has lost everything. She has destroyed her family and caused a lot of pain for a lot of people. And for what? A buzz and some random sex. I am going completely North Carolina until she has been clean for a long time. I just can't deal with all this crazy. Update 5, cheating wife ruined family and Christmas. Why does she expect me to be okay with her behavior? So a lot of people PM me for an update. I was going to post one yesterday, but I just didn't have the energy. I am kind of depressed and very, very tired. I hardly ever sleep, and when I do, I am plagued by nightmares. Good news is kids are doing better. My dad is a champ. I don't know what to do without him. We went to his cabin to ski a bit this weekend, me, him and the kids. It was great. I have basically no contact with my ex. I did talk to one of her harpy friends. The one that was in critical condition. She woke up, but she was in terrible shape. I talked to her nurse and she was sad that no one had bothered to look in on her while she was there. They had contacted her family, and they had just refused to see her. I am worried the people that beat up my ex will come for me and the kids, so I asked the nurse if I could talk to her and she agreed. I know I shouldn't, but I felt I needed to ask her about what had happened since my wife started working with them. She started off asking me if I wanted a BJ for 20. So that wasn't awkward at all. I offered her 50 in exchange for information instead. The harpy friends are all hardcore drug users, addicts. Henrietta dragged my wife into their group against the wishes of the other two and convinced her to try drugs and party with them. They sold sexual favors to get money for drugs. Henrietta is the lead on this. They all preach this strong feminist, my own body stuff. But as she put it, it's all bullshit to protect our own imagined egos. What we really do is prostitute ourselves for money to buy drugs. My wife bought into the bullshit first, and it didn't take long until she was addicted, just like the rest of them. Once she was hooked, she too eventually started selling sex to pay for drugs. Not easy hearing that the person you loved more than anything turned herself into a who-e to meet her drug addiction. It makes sense why all she wanted was the money now. From what she tells me, it's mainly meth. No one visited her because she has stolen, cheated, abused and lied to everyone in her life, and no one wants anything to do with her. She told me, without even blinking, how sad she was that she survived. She has zero hope for the future, and she looks like walking death without her makeup. It was painful. I was devastated just listening to her. I cried a lot for my wife's sake. I am not excusing her. She made the choice to play with this shit, and she lost. Now she will pay the price. She also told me all about the guys that beat up my ex-wife. I will get back to this later. Henrietta has been charged with death threats, resisting arrest, drug possession, prostitution, drug trafficking, child abuse and neglect, DUI, property damage, and auto theft. She is denied bail as a flight risk. she will probably go away for a while. At least I hope she will. Before I go on, I would like to thank those of you that reached out with experience dealing with addicts. Many warned me that my ex might try to end herself now that the walls are closing in. You were right, she tried to deliberately OD. I had talked to her father about it beforehand. That there was a high chance she might try something. We decided to try to monitor her closely. Luckily she still doesn't know that I have live information from her mobile. While we are at the cabin on Saturday, I get a message from her. It reads like a suicide note. She tells me about the addiction, the prostitution, how she let everybody down, that she will do the only thing she can do, etc. I immediately called her dad, and because I have the mobile monitor I also have her location. Her father rushes out and finds her unconscious on a park bench. She is immediately taken to the hospital and pumped. She is also very hypothermic. I dread to think of what would happen if he arrived just a little later. They have her on methadone for now. Her father has successfully become her appointed guardian. She can no longer object to treatment. Her father had her forcefully committed to a rehab center, and she will go through sedated detox. I don't know when, but probably this week. Her father was appointed not because she OD'd, but because she abandoned her children. Apparently abandoning your children proves that you are not rational, while trying to end it is okay? Anyway, thankfully I haven't had a chance to cancel her life insurance yet, so she will get treatment. I have offered my ex Phil to help with the finances as long as my ex isn't told me that I am. I have been very scared that the guys that beat up my wife were going to come after me and the kids. Remember, Henry presented chat logs in court that they believe my wife gave to Henry. I talked to Henry about it, and he decided that he would fix this since he benefited from the disclosure. I don't know if I mentioned this, but Henry is an angry meat mountain of a man. He grew up on a farm carrying stuff since he was a kid, so he looks like he can rip the average man in half. He bends down walking through doorways. He has a crew cut and some facial scars. Let's just say he is very intimidating if you don't know him. In reality, he is infinitely patient, gentle and kind. I don't doubt he will use force if he finds it necessary, but for him it's a last resort. Anyway, he went to the guy's apartment, a real shithole by the way. He grabbed the two guys by the neck and told them that Henrietta had given him the chat logs. And since they hurt someone he knew, they had a choice to make. Go with him to the police and confess everything relating to the assault, or to face him right there, and that they should expect some very painful permanent injuries if they choose option 2. As he told it to me, he let them know that he was very hopeful that they would choose option 2. They apparently couldn't get to the police fast enough. Needless to say, I no longer worry about them. I have found a new apartment, and I will be moving soon. Bob once again came through. All in all, I am very depressed. This is heavy on my soul. What keeps me going is my friends and family, and I know I need to stay strong for the kids. My heart breaks for my ex. Despite everything, I don't regret marrying her. I still love her, but I know we can never be back together. She isn't the person she used to be, and there is just too much pain between us. Despite all the pain recently, we had a very good life before that. I wouldn't have my children if it wasn't for her, and wouldn't give them up for anything. I know it's going to hurt for a long time. I hope I am strong enough to get through it. Strangely enough, news of my wife's addiction has helped my kids deal with it. It's much easier to talk about how mom is sick and it's going to take a long time for her to get well, she still loves them, etc., etc. Right now I am sad and tired. Henry is here with his kids. We are going to watch Madagascar 3, I think. I am trying to make as many good new memories as possible. Henry is doing the same, and his and my kids look like they are doing a lot better now. I think we will be okay. Thank you everyone for all your help. This will be my last post here, I think. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Have an awesome day or night. Wherever you are.